It does not begin with panic. It begins with a technical notice. Banks report a temporary suspension of cash withdrawals. Digital payments continue, but under revised settlement rules. Governments describe it as an upgrade. Markets describe it as an adjustment. In reality, it is a structural break. Cash already represents a shrinking fraction of total money in circulation. Most national currencies exist as entries in centralized ledgers, cleared through a small number of settlement systems. Remove physical cash, and money becomes entirely permission-based. Overnight, every transaction becomes conditional. At first, daily life continues. Salaries arrive, bills are paid, stores remain open. But the nature of money has changed. Cash once functioned as a neutral bearer asset. Digital currency does not. It is contextual, traceable, and programmable. This allows precision. It also introduces fragility. In the first phase, liquidity slows. Not because money is scarce, but because access is recalibrated. Transaction limits are imposed temporarily. Cross-border transfers are routed through new compliance layers. Financial institutions delay settlements until regulatory guidance stabilizes. This hesitation reduces velocity. Reduced velocity tightens supply chains. Tightened supply chains expose dependencies that were previously invisible. Small exporters struggle first. They operate on thin margins and predictable cash cycles. When settlement timing becomes uncertain, risk multiplies. Large firms absorb the shock. They have buffers, credit lines, and political access. This is the first redistribution. Not from rich to poor, but from flexible actors to centralized ones. Governments respond with reassurance. Essential spending is prioritized. Food, energy, healthcare flow freely. Non-essential sectors experience friction. Not bans, delays. Savings remain intact but no longer passive. Negative interest becomes a policy tool, not a theory. Balances gently decay to encourage spending. On paper, this is efficient demand management. In reality, it alters behavior. People stop thinking in terms of accumulation. They shift toward timing. When to spend becomes more important than how much to save. The informal economy contracts sharply. Cash-based resilience disappears. Unregistered labor becomes visible and vulnerable. Alternative stores of value re-emerge. Foreign currencies circulate quietly. Digital assets are used pragmatically, not ideologically. Authorities tighten monitoring. With all legal money digital, deviations are easier to detect. By the end of the first year, the system is stable. But it is no longer neutral. Money has become an instrument of governance, not just exchange. At the international level, monetary power gains leverage. Payment access replaces tariffs. Settlement permissions replace sanctions. Smaller states feel this shift first. They comply to maintain access. Larger economies define standards. Trade blocs reorganize. Not around values, but around compatible financial infrastructure. The system holds, but it is under strain, because efficiency is not the same as resilience. And resilience has costs that are not yet visible. The second phase begins quietly, not with collapse, but with optimization. Governments refine control mechanisms. Algorithms adjust transaction rules in real time. Inflation is countered instantly. Consumption patterns are shaped subtly. On paper, this is ideal monetary policy. In reality, price signals begin to distort. When money responds to policy faster than markets can adapt, feedback loops weaken. Investment decisions favor regulatory alignment over productivity. Capital flows toward predictability. Innovation slows, not because it is restricted, but because uncertainty becomes expensive. Risk models penalize deviation. Long-term experimentation gives way to short-cycle returns. This does not look like failure. It looks like stagnation. Meanwhile, systemic risk concentrates. A single payment architecture now underpins the entire economy. Software errors become macroeconomic events. Cyber incidents become national emergencies. States invest heavily in redundancy. Offline systems, manual overrides, emergency liquidity protocols. Each safeguard reduces efficiency. Each layer reintroduces friction. The original promise begins to erode. At the geopolitical level, fragmentation accelerates. Some regions accept full integration. Others negotiate partial autonomy. A few build parallel systems. Interoperability becomes political. Global trade slows, not dramatically but persistently. Transaction costs rise through complexity rather than scarcity. Trust becomes the limiting factor. Citizens accept the system while stability holds. When shocks occur, natural disasters, conflicts, energy shortages, questions emerge. Access restrictions feel different under stress. Temporary controls linger longer than expected. Governments discover the core dilemma. Total control demands total accountability. Every intervention has visible winners and losers. Neutrality disappears. Over time, compromises emerge. Limited anonymous thresholds are restored. Physical instruments return in constrained forms. Regional discretion increases, not out of ideology, out of necessity. Because no system can fully optimize human behavior without resistance, and no authority can manage complexity indefinitely without loss of trust. The end state is not a cashless world, it is a layered one. Digital money dominates daily life. Physical instruments exist as pressure valves. Alternative stores of value persist at the margins. Power increases, but so does responsibility. Efficiency rises, but resilience remains costly. The central lesson is not about technology. It is about limits. Financial systems can be engineered. Human behavior cannot be fully programmed. In the long run, sustainability matters more than control. Survival matters more than optimization. And every system that forgets this eventually corrects itself, peacefully or otherwise. If you analyze power through the lens of reality, not fantasy, you are watching the right channel. For more stress tests on global systems, subscribe to ThinkCell. Your intelligence is the asset that never depreciates.